Welcome to Passion Vista podcast, the show that celebrates leaders who live with purpose, lead with heart, and inspire through vision. I'm your host, Neetu Singh Marva, and today we are joined by a powerhouse of resilience, intellect, and innovation, Dr. Miskyah-Marie. She is the CEO of BDCS and Miskyah.com, a globally acclaimed entrepreneur, author of Iron and Silk, thought leader in HR, digital transformation, and a beacon of purpose driven business. From navigating personal struggles to receiving titles like Empowered Woman of the Year and Top Global Business Leader, Miss Kia's story is not just one of success, but of soulful impact. Her work bridges strategy, innovation, and human connection, building ecosystems where individuals and business alike thrive. In this episode, we uncover how she became a woman who doesn't just break ceilings. She rebuilds the system underneath with compassion and purpose. So, welcome to our show, Dr. Miskia.
Thank you so much, Dr. Neetu. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. It's an honor to be on your show. Yes.
Absolutely a pleasure, and we honored to have you on our show today.
That's wonderful. Yes.
Dr. Miskia, we would like to now know more about you and your philosophy, which beautifully balances strength and softness, as reflected in the title of your book, Iron and Silk. So, can you take us back to your early years? What experiences shaped your drive?
Yeah, iron and silk is really what I believe it all boiled down to. Over many years as a woman and a woman in business, I have learned that to rather pursue strength, which is the iron that is in the title of my book. Pursuing strength and strength of character is so much more important, and that's something unbreakable. So, in the earlier years when I was a young entrepreneur, we sometimes think, oh, things are difficult, but that forged strength. That was like the iron in the fire, to be forged into someone of beauty. And then the silk is the beauty side, the gentle side, the part where we as a woman have so much to offer to the world, because a woman is naturally a nurturer. But in the business world, strength is required. When we do lead with poise, when we have class, when we show people, but you know what? I'm doing this gracefully, although it's difficult, in the business world. So when you read my book, it talks about iron and silk and how I encourage, even if you listen to some of my talks, I encourage people. We often chase or pursue the gold or the business or the money coming with it. But I always say pursue the iron, which is not always the most beautiful part. But if we are strong, the gold follows, the money follows, the business comes in, because we need strength of character. The bigger it grows, and currently, because we've got so many thousands of employees, you start to realize, when I was a younger entrepreneur, I was wondering, why did I have to go through so much and become so strong? Because today I need answers for so many people. I need answers. I need to lead with integrity. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
And I think that is what leaders are meant for. They go through challenges of their lives, and this is how a true leader is born, and a beautiful book like Iron and Silk is born when you actually go through your experiences.
yes, it's very vulnerable to open and to have done an autobiography in Iron and Silk. It is a vulnerable part, because you tell people how much the struggle was. It's real. It
I
was
know.
real. And but I feel the strength that even other entrepreneurs, maybe other ladies, anybody can draw from it. It's worth the while. It was worth it.
Yes, yes. So, Dr. Miskia, we would love to hear from you. uh, any of your struggle story and your achievement which you believe that, oh, this was really difficult and you actually did it beautifully and you came out. So would you like to share that with us?
Yeah, I think if you look at the struggle, side of it, m- so much of it is sometimes forgotten because coming out of it and being determined to keep on going, because that is the one thing we need to stay in the game regardless of how difficult it is. Raising children and being a single mom at one point of my life was seriously not easy, but as I say to so many people, I had to make good decisions for them. Today, even our business has 2,000 or more employees. For me, it's the same thing. I've got to now make good decisions like I used to do for my children. And in the difficulty that we've been through many times, not knowing what's coming next and taking the risk, buying a contract in the beginning at this onset of COVID-19 in 2020. And everybody said to me, "Why are you doing that, Misha?" And I said, "I just know it's the right thing to do." And we didn't know COVID was going to hit. And 6 months later, the contract was doing so extremely well because we supplying staff to an online supplier, and during COVID, online retail sales became the in thing. So yeah, I think about the difficulties of answering questions, the difficulties of wondering some points, when are we going to pay what and how are we going to pay. Now the income is good, you understand how to deal with finances, the principle of finances, how to be wise in when we're spending finances, how to help other people in thinking about the depth of that, but in all of it not to lose who we are. And that is the beauty of our hearts that should stay um calm. I would think that's possibly one of the most important things that a business person want to do is to stay calm and to stay resilient at any time. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what, if I can share that, I don't know how much more you'd like me to share on that, but those are instances that I remember when, having the people today when I drive my car, if I've got a sports car, not because I'm flashy, but because that is now where I am in life and I enjoy it. But people don't understand that through accident, I've lost vehicles and I was without it. And I know how it feels to be completely dependent on. In South Africa, our public transport system is not as good, as it should be. So there were times in my life that I had to face that and I had to overcome and understand that if I am going to achieve, if I am going to go anywhere, I'm going to have to keep going and doing the right thing.
Yes, yes, I completely agree with that. And that is what the journey of an entrepreneur is, which is absolutely not easy, but full of challenges. But then that's the fun, I guess, when we overcome it
Yeah.
and when we actually create a story. I think every entrepreneur has a story, their own story.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the beauty of it. Sure.
Yes,
You are
yes.
right. We have a story to tell.
So, what inspired you to create BDCS and Miskyah.com?
So both of them are people focused. So BDCS supply staff. We are a staff outsourcing company.
Mm-hmm.
So we supply employment. We give employment to people, and we also supply them to company staff. And we handle everything from A to Z. Mishkia.com is also about people. It's about women. Part of it is Women for Change, where we're looking at women that's been struggling, overcoming certain difficulties in life, looking at entrepreneurship with Let's Talk Business. Both of them people are in. It's human people, the orientation side of that. How and in my heart, I have a passion for people and seeing people succeed. It's not up to us whether people succeed. It's always up to the individual. But we can actually create so many opportunities. So we can actually just give out of our hearts to people, something that makes life better. I believe if somebody is employed, if somebody has a business, they can come into their beautiful sweet spot because, use what we've got, use our creativity, use innovation. So that inspired me many times. I've also realized that um often people and families are breaking down conducive if you don't teach people how to use finance and how to apply it. Then a family breaks down very often,
Yes.
because if a husband doesn't know how to deal with the finances all the while, the family is affected. So at the end of the day, what we do in BDCS and in Miskyah.com is we are very, very focused on the re-establishment of family, the re-establishment of individuals who can overcome, situations of difficulty.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's really amazing work that you've been doing, and as I think that's equally very inspiring, because this is actually the way to take things forward. You have investments, then only you've planned everything, then only you can actually grow into your business and everywhere.
I just wanted to say in BDCS, for instance, we have a magazine that we call the Tribe magazine. So it focuses on our staff, it focuses on people in the workplace, it focuses on education, loving people, really giving them a platform to shine. And by having the business, it gives us a footprint into the field where we can talk to people, help people, educate people. So yeah, it makes it a joy to do that.
Wonderful, wonderful. So, how did you navigate the shift from being part of the systems to becoming someone who builds new systems, especially for women and emerging leaders?
I think any person who wants to build a new system must embrace systems, if I can put it
Hmm.
that way. So if we don't understand the value that a system provides, a process, so very often a system is in place because somebody else put it in place. And if we
Yes,
want to run a successful company, we do need proper systems.
yes,
But we cannot get stuck on systems that's old now and that's out of date. I mean, just if you look at technology, um, building new systems, bringing things faster into the field with technology, and building new systems around that. For me, I love it because I feel, once again, if you look at a part of our client base or our staff, or people that are on the road, they don't have access to a laptop, for instance. So we have a mobile app. That mobile app, my staff, any one of our staff can get onto their own little space in the company and understand, where's my payment, how is it getting done, if there's a problem with my hours, fix it. So this system has been implemented as to better the life of our staff. And thinking as a, I don't know whether it makes a difference that I think as a woman, I think anybody could actually do that. But perhaps my heart of empathy towards people, understanding how difficult life can be if you can't get hold of, it's a simple example, but if a staff member can't get hold of their payslip to see whether
hmm,
it's correct. Now, how do you explain that again to the family? If you're not alone, you would like to say to your wife, there's a reason why this is my money. So bringing
yes,
it to people on a phone is so easy. It's just an innovative way of saying, bring in a new system. Let's think out of the box. Let's not stay in the old way. Let's think about our environment and don't print as much as we used to, but let's keep things in technology. So yeah, I believe building new systems is not something we can stop doing. By next
yes.
year certain systems will be out of date. We've got to continually look at what is the demand, what is the need, and adapt to that. I think as
That's
women, we've got a huge role to play in that sort of regard, and not just women, but I think definitely as leaders, because we're sensitive. If we're sensitive to the needs of other people or the needs of the industry,
Right.
it, we'll bring out what's needed, isn't it? We should we should design new systems. Yeah.
We should. We should. I completely agree with this because I think a system is the one which defines an organization or even defines our own self. Because if we have a control system, we the output, the production would be the best, I guess.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I
So
think it's vital.
yes. So BDS is rooted in strategy and scalable growth. So, how do you blend innovation with empathy in your business development approach?
Once again, I think I can refer back to what we just mentioned, and that is that innovation, I think, is directly linked to empathy. I believe so. Because once I've got empathy and I understand somebody else's needs, and that becomes a demand.
That
If
becomes a
we
demand.
understand what somebody needs, we can actually become innovative. And then the two joins very beautifully together. It is not just being innovative because you, I don't know, want to impress someone. It is really something that makes a difference. And I think as an entrepreneur, if we really want to be successful, we need to hit that spot to say, what is truly needed that I have to supply in my company? And
Right,
those two factors are definitely, it forms part of a process that's very powerful in business.
right, right. So, Dr. Miskia, I have a question which is like coming again and again. That while you started your journey, years back, so I'm sure that things would have been easy for you. As you mentioned, you've been a single mother handling everything. So how actually that motivation came into you that okay, I have to start my own thing, I have to work now? So how actually did it all started?
Me personally, I think I was born an entrepreneur because that's just an instinct to a certain degree. However, it wasn't what I started in. I started studying psychology, and I was very interested in training, and so I was in the human resources industry at a very young age in a very big corporate company. I was very young, 21, when I ran 180 staff as a leader in a corporate company. But the desire to, and I think for me personally, one of the greatest motivations is a sense of freedom.
Hmm.
But when we talk freedom, freedom is also something that you need to have the maturity to to control and understand. Freedom of, I can do things different, how can I do it better? And that birthed in me a desire for my own company. I do think when we're not yet in our own company, how we will treat those that we are employed by will determine how successful we will be later. And I'm saying that because as an employee to employers before, for me, it was important to learn from them. Sometimes the most difficult boss becomes the best blessing because that person is the one that teaches you correctly what is right, what is wrong, how do you go, how do you get your eye in. It's like a coach, and we should not ever, I don't feel, I never felt like not taking that serious. But the burning desire inside of me to run my own company stayed, but it is, you put it aside at a point and you do your absolute best for someone else. For me, it was important that I had, when people employed me, that I will run their businesses to the best of my ability because that's the best training ground. And there come a day where the doors just started opening. And it's also important for any entrepreneur, I think, not to push that too hard. Sometimes people feel like I'm not successful in business, but it could be that you're pushing something too soon. There must be organic growth in all our lives, and I've realized that the longer I was in a place that I've been employed by other people as well, the more I could learn. And today, for me to run a corporate company as big as ours, the way I do, every one of those people are actually now playing a part. because I've learned from them. And now it is possible to really fly when you are in that position. And growth doesn't scare you anymore, because I think people most likely, but that could be my personal experience, if we don't want to grow in business, if we don't see ourselves running a huge company, it is purely sometimes because we do not believe in ourselves enough,
Hmm.
because it takes a lot out of you. It takes a lot. It takes a lot of determination. It takes a lot of wisdom. You need to know what to do, what not to do, what battle to fight, and what your staff, your management should fight, which is not yours. So it trained me personally to be the better person. And as I started by being employed by other people, I was always an entrepreneur, if I can put it to you that way. I just got paid by someone else, on a monthly basis. But in my heart, I think I wasn't somebody that ever just felt, oh, maybe I should start my own business. I knew from a very young age that I will one day run my own company. I didn't think it would be as big as it is already, but I'm very, very, I feel very happy about that. I feel very comfortable to be in this place.
Beautiful, beautiful. That beautifully defines your entrepreneur journey and how boldly actually you have taken the steps and how you've actually defined your own self and your career. So, here I again have a connection coming in that don't you think somewhere you have manifested your organization and your entrepreneurship journey? Do you believe in that?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Which you cannot just, it was a blueprint that only I knew what I wanted. And as I carried on and I saw when Women for Change started, before I started Miskyah.com. So Women for Change was birthed out of a desire to help other women that has also gone through difficult times. And unless we have that blueprint in our heart, we cannot manifest anything. You
Correct.
know,
I agree with
the,
this point.
yeah, there is a blueprint, and as we go on, we have to also take action to manifest that and to make it happen and to make people see how it works. It doesn't, opportunities come along, but an opportunity only stays around for a certain time period, and we must be bold enough when we are entrepreneurs to take that and to make it happen, to bring it to pass. Yeah. So when Mishka.com started, I took Let's Talk Business and Women for Change, and I realized how much people need advice from businesses. I've been funding Mishka.com myself for many years and put out videos, and I didn't even know how many people are watching until I got invited by young ladies and said, please come and see us because we've been watching your videos for years. And when you do this, you never know who your audience is. Sometimes I felt like, why are you doing this? It's like, what are you doing? Until you hear those people's feedback and they say it's meant so much for them. So it's easy to have the dream, but we have to do something to get it out there and actioned. And hopefully, a lot of other people are still inspired by that.
Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. That's really beautiful. I think that's what I always believe in myself too. That while you manifest anything, you first need to be very, very clear, very, very, uh,
Yes.
you know, thoughtful about what you want to do. As you very beautifully mentioned, your blueprint should be very, very clear, and then I
Yeah.
think things come to you automatically because it's you who's actually attracting it.
Exactly. Yeah, you carry the confidence with you. That's correct. That's so true. Yeah.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Miskia, you have won numerous prestigious accolades. Do any of them carry special emotional significance to you?
You know, if I think about importance for me
Mm-hmm.
to get other people excited and motivated, and I look at our magazine and how often we give awards to people, um, I think the very first award I received, like hit me. I couldn't believe it. It was like so amazing to me. Because I realized, oh my goodness, somebody is looking that because when you're at the top, who is going to award you? You know, you can award your staff, but I mean, there's nobody coming to say, hello, Mishka, you're a wonderful boss. Unfortunately,
Right.
that doesn't happen. But yeah, it just somehow people started recognizing all the work over so many years. And the very first award I got was from the International Association of Top Professionals as Business Leader, Global Business Leader of the Year last year. And straight after that, I got the awards at the Asian African function that we've had. Remember last year as well? That was so amazing, global game changer. And then also I got the award for HR, you know, for being a leader in human resources. And that was, I can't even describe the beauty that I felt in my heart of thinking, wow, this is two different ends of the world, America
Right.
and this. And there that happens. And then I think of there's a lot of others, but then one I've got it here next to me, I just want to show you, is the doctorate. The honorary doctorate was to
Oh,
me, oh
wow.
man,
Wow.
look, we
That's
framed
really
it. I want to show
amazing.
you. Yeah,
Congratulations to
yeah,
you.
thank you. You know, I studied up until masters, and I thought that the big work's going to start now for another doctorate in my field. And when the honorary doctorate came like that, it it was a taste of something that happens without sitting for hours and hours, but it happens after years and years. And now being honored for what you've done, and I didn't even expect it. And that brought to my heart humility as well, you know, great gratitude, but humility to understand that doesn't matter how many times I sat in front of that camera, encouraging people, wondering if anybody's even listening. How many times I've suffered, how many times I've actually struggled so that we can have a very successful business, how many risks I've taken. And then thinking in that moment, Mishka, why are you doing this to yourself? And when I received this, it was like it was that overwhelming moment of, you know, people are always watching. You don't even know.
Yes.
There's always somebody watching and somebody giving me honor for something I didn't even ask. So it brought a tear to my eye. And I am exceptionally honored by that. You know, it is something that you realize after many years of hard work. It's like, well done, you know, thank you very much as well. Something saying thank you back. Yeah, being a business owner, being a business leader, being part of the C suite, being part of that rings, it comes with a price, you know. Sometimes very lonely at this in this place, but you know, it is so important that we always keep our passion, because there's always somebody looking, there's always somebody saying, how is Mishka going to handle this one, you know. And yeah, so these were very special to me. Thank you very much as well to the role that Fashion Vista played and that conference we've had. You know, when I get the awards, it's like for me at the moment, just thank you that I'm being, thank you. Yeah.
So, Dr. Miskyah, our next question to you is, how do you define balance between ambition and wellness and service, the self care you're doing?
You know, when I've got to look at balance in that regard, it makes me think of two legs, having two legs. We cannot run on one.
Yes.
We cannot have ambition without self care, without really well looking after ourselves. So a person, you've never seen a successful athlete running with one leg, unless obviously that's a special uh, um, a condition. But we need two, and I do believe that ambition can only take us to to a certain place. But self care, making sure that I am well, that my health is good, that my mental health is always intact, will take you far more further than anything else. Ambition is, yes, it's good. You've got to be ambitious. You've got to know where you want to go to. But doesn't matter what happens unless my health can handle it. You cannot run as fast as you should. You cannot do what you have to do. You cannot think clearly. So there is a balance that is not even in my life. It's not even negotiable. I do believe those two ends run completely together. For a person to understand your self-worth, to understand, especially once again, the higher you go, the more people you interact with, the greater the criticisms are. People, a lot more people don't like you. Also, as well, everybody don't always like you. So I can be as ambitious and as successful as I want to, but more people will not like me. So if I'm not well and my mind is not clean and I'm not looking after myself, it will stop you in
Correct.
progress. It will definitely stop your ambition. Ambition stops when there's too much allowed. And self care and wellness tells me a person truly cares about those around them. Because if I take care of myself, it will be as a result of understanding how much people need somebody to speak into their life, maybe. You know, how important is it for me to keep myself in a good space is only happening when the pressure is on. You only get the test only happens when there's a pressure, like we talked about the iron in silk. And self awareness in the fact that I don't neglect who I am as a person. Because if I can be the total mishka that somebody else need, then I will take care of myself, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I believe both of those are incredibly important, especially in the business world today. And as a family, as a mother, as a whoever, as a woman, there's no ways we can give ourselves or the people around us our best unless we take care of ourselves.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. And beautifully, you mentioned about your family. So we would like to know that, behind Dr. Miskia, the beautiful lady, uh, who's the backbone, who's the strength?
I've got two beautiful sons. I was alone for many, many years. I was married and I got divorced, but I've got amazing two sons. And we're all on different continents, believe it or not, today.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but they are amazing, Michael and Bean. And I think many times when they were younger, when you've got to take care of them, they the fact that they needed me was an encouragement to go on and to get the best for them. Now that they've grown older, I'm so proud, when they speak to me and they speak into my life and um, they there, yeah, behind that. So, yeah, it's important because you got to stay balanced. And the nice thing about children or you're having children is that they always bring you back to basics. They always they always make you realize, oh my goodness. I always said, it's easy to run a business, but to raise children is not always as easy as that. Because they have a way of thinking that doesn't always make sense. But I love them and they are amazing. They're very successful. So as a woman, because I didn't get remarried again, doesn't mean I don't want to get married again. But it is vital to have balance.
Yes.
And also, wherever we go to, we cannot leave what we've already achieved. So we stay. For me, it's not difficult to spend time on my own. I think some days just being in front of my fireplace and watching
Mhm.
a story or just getting out of the daily thing. It's just beautiful. Nature, being in nature, being close to nature, things like that just revitalizes who I am. It's just easy. It's nice to cook. Just doing everyday things, spending time with family as much as I can. I'm so grateful for technology with all of us being so far from each other. But as we are all traveling a lot, we do see quite a bit of each other. Yeah, that is a small thought.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's really nice. So you speak about helping others find their true potential. What moment or transformation in someone else's life affirmed that mission for you?
I have a couple of people, even until now, that It was pure encouragement. I've even had staff. I can tell you, people started with us perhaps in our company as a general worker. I've had people starting as general workers. But one of those people are now in the 5 year span, a very, very senior HR manager. When he started, he didn't have a license to drive a car. I kept
Mhm.
on going. I said, "You're not going to get away with it. You're going to start driving." And then he had to buy the car, and then the family is looked after, and it's just trust, believing in yourself. And I've had many instances where we people that don't see their own potential, we just need to tell them sometimes you can do it. And when I see today, they are so grateful, and I'm so grateful. And it doesn't mean that they have to still be employed by us. Some of them are, and I'm so proud of them. But when we can have that type of impact on somebody's life, to tell them, you know what, you don't understand the value of freedom until you've had it. And to be successful and to lead your family with a confidence that um you can do it. I think one of the examples I used earlier on is Woman for Change, speaking these podcasts, doing videos for people. And I was a speaker in last year somewhere in an area in South Africa, in Gauteng. And then a group of ladies, 30 or 40 of them, found out that I was in the area, and they asked my PA, can she please come and talk to us, because we've been listening to her podcast, to her videos for so many years, and looking at them and see how beautiful they are. And I didn't even know that. They said, no, we're listening, please bring out more and more. And I realized that without me knowing, lives changed. And that is, I believe, for me, sort of a mission for me in my life. We can only be the best me, hoping to inspire somebody else, to understand, especially when you look perhaps at a woman. We're not always, sometimes we have to fight a little bit harder in the business field. And sometimes people might feel a woman is a little bit more vulnerable, even, it might be. And then looking at that, I find when people say, you know what, if Mishka can do it, I can do it as well. And I've had that. I see it and I think, there you go, keep on going. It's just seeing the smile, seeing the family happy, walking from a place of fear, living maybe in an area that's extremely dangerous, but just getting the courage to break away from previous thought patterns, even thinking the wrong way. Um, if we can help people that way, then they start to thrive by themselves. They don't always
Yes.
need us to be there. But if people start to change this, the mindset and the belief of themselves, and for me, that's vital in everything that we do. And I can literally see them. I can see they phone me and say, I just bought myself a house. Then I think, yay, I told you so. And
Wow, you must be feeling so proud of their achievements and how they're actually growing with their own selves. I mean, really wonderful. You've been doing a great job.
yeah, that is a nice, it is it's rewarding. And yeah, that's why we are doing what we're doing.
Wonderful. So, Dr. Miskia, for the young woman listening across the world, what is your most heartfelt advice, especially for those battling with fear, self doubt, or their own system barriers? So, what do you advise to them?
I think one of the things I've said earlier on will always be advice is never stop, because fears will come. Yeah, I mean, there's only actually one good choice that we can make in life, and that is to decide not to stop. So fears are gonna come. Doesn't matter if you're small, big business, whatever. I mean, now the fears actually supposed to just be more, because you risk so much more. You've got so much more to lose. But the self doubt is something that we have to work on, because it's a mindset again. You know, why am I doubting myself? And sometimes it's better to to have a realistic expectation of ourselves and understand how far we can go and when do we need other people to start to step in. So that's not self-doubt. That is a very healthy place to be in. So I can say to anybody that's young and that's even got systemic barriers, how do I overcome these things? The one thing we all have is the same amount of hours, 24 hours a day. Most of us have all the other abilities. And if we don't stop, if we have that blueprint we spoke about earlier on, and very important to know that self doubt and fears are very often created by what we allow to think about. We sometimes create scenarios. And if I can encourage anybody, don't create scenarios. They, it's just so unnecessary. We create a scenario by which we actually say, maybe I'm not going to make it, or this could happen, and that could happen, or whatever. Rather stay on track of the good things. Stay on what can happen. What is it that you can change? I've learned to break it down even to the smallest thing. As are days that I felt very low in my life, where I felt like, how am I going to overcome this? I mean, having children, raise them without support, being alone, difficult days. I've learned to journal, take a book. And the first thing I do is to start to say thank you. Thank you for a beautiful day. Thank you that I've got a healthy body. Thank you that I can actually do what I do. Thank you for even the littlest thing. Thank you. Thank you that this happened today. Thank you that I can smell flowers, you know. Thank you that I can see. And when we start to do that, it's as if our whole system, our body starts to work with us, the mind starts to work with us, and the fears fall off. It is when we focus too much on those things, on certain things that aren't real, and we also listen too much to stuff that's actually not even supposed to enter our mind. I would really encourage people to say it's a choice. If you want to be successful, there's going to be a fight. There's going to be a fight in being successful. And the first fight is going to start, I believe, yeah, in the mind. I believe we are the only ones that should stand guard of our minds. We should say what goes in and what's going to come out here because nobody else is going to do it. The mind's not going to stop it. Whatever somebody tells the mind will accept. So, as a person, if I say I want to be an entrepreneur and I'm young, I don't know yet what to do, it doesn't matter. That's what's part of the beauty of it, is you can find out what to do. And when you don't know, there's always somebody else. And it's so wonderful if we start to see this as an adventure. You know, life is an adventure. Business is an adventure. And we are going to make mistakes and we are going to go through difficult times. But how wonderful is it when we look back and we think, yo, I've gone through that one as well. So don't give up. Don't give up. Somebody else is going to draw from your story. Somebody else is going to say, well, if she could go through that, I can do it as well. Don't give up ever. Never stop.
Wonderful, wonderful. How beautifully you actually defined. Actually, this is what I think manifestation is, what you've been doing, gratitude, blueprint, and keep going, keep doing your karma, keep going forward. Don't stop. I think this is the beauty. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Because while you keep working consistently, the results are ought to come, maybe sooner or later. But you have to keep going. You cannot just stop. And I'm really inspired by your words that you've been saying that don't stop. I think this should be the subject of our podcast. Don't stop.
Don't stop. Yeah, that's good. The best advice. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, as we are, it was wonderful, wonderful talking to you. And we had a great conversation, Dr. Miskia. There's so much to learn from you, from your journey, and how successfully actually you've come out as a mother, as an entrepreneur, as a leader. Actually, I would rather define it as I would like to have a closing mantra from you that you would like to share with all our audience that they should believe in as per you.
I would like to say that never fear the future. We don't always know what's going to come, But that is actually the beauty. Because when the year started, when I bought a contract, when it started, I never knew I was going to buy a contract. I never knew that contract was going to grow in 4 years up to 500%. But that day came when I woke up and I didn't even know that morning that that's going to happen. So be expectant as an entrepreneur, be expectant as a human being of what you've not seen yet. It doesn't matter how much we think that possibility is around the corner. And keep on looking, keep on being expectant, keep on thinking, what are the possibilities that may come around in my days today that will change my whole life? And that just brings a spark of hope to everyone. Yeah.
Yes, yes. I think if we all start believing in this, then every morning we'll be super excited that what is this new day actually coming with, and what new am I going to do, how exciting the day would be, how things are going to happen. So I think you very beautifully defined uh, how a entrepreneur, or I would rather say how anybody, a normal human being, could actually draw their own life and script their own life beautifully. I mean, we often blame family or somebody. I was not able to do this and that. I think it's all on us how we actually portrayed and how beautifully we designed it. And the clear example is you. That
Oh,
how beautifully you've actually narrated your journey. You've actually written your own blueprint beautifully and successfully without fearing of who's watching you, who's judging you. Because at times
yeah.
we do have that fear in us, right?
Absolutely. And that's vital to believe in what you do so much that it never stops you. Your voices hasn't stopped you. So thank you for that. Wow. It was so inspiring to be on your podcast. And it's so lovely to get to know you better, Dr. Ito. It's just lovely. You guys have made a great impact in my life. And I want to just encourage you to keep on doing what you're doing for leaders. Leaders need that. So thank you so much to you as well for everything that you're doing for us.
Thank you so much. It was absolutely a pleasure to host you today at Passion Vista Podcast. So here we come to the closure, and we had Dr. Miskia with us. And Dr. Miskia, your journey is a reminder that the strongest steel is forged in fire, and that true power lies in purpose. You've shown us that business can be soulful, leadership can be nurturing, and success can be redefined through impact. We had such a great, impactful podcast with you, Dr. Mistia. Thank you for being with us today. It was soulful to be with you in today's podcast.
Thank you, Dr. Nito. I appreciate that. It was a pleasure to meet you as well.
So, to all listeners, take your heart in words, whether you are just starting out or deep in your journey. Know this, you are not alone, and your dreams are valid. Success isn't about comparison, it's about alignment, evolution, and heart. And this is Neetu Singh Marwa signing off from Passion Vista Podcast, where every story is a spark and every voice has the voice to inspire. Until next time, stay passionate, stay present, and keep leading your vision forward. Stay tuned at Passion Vista Podcast.